What's up and welcome back to another edition of Food Friday. Today we're doing something we've technically already done. We did this for an FTI Sizzle and Summer series a while back. We're making fried chicken Alfredo. Let's get to it. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to set our oven to preheat at 420 so we can cook some bacon. First things next, we're going to go ahead and get our what should be pasta water boiling. I've found for better flavor, use chicken broth to boil your noodles instead of water. So we're going in with some chicken broth and we're going to get that boiling. Now we're going to work on the dredge for our chicken. So we're going to start in this bowl with just some all-purpose flour. Don't need a ton because I don't have that much chicken to cook and I'd rather not waste a ton of flour. Then we're going to go in with specifically some Kikkoman Japanese-style panko breadcrumbs. And we want a bit more of that than there is flour. Then in this other bowl, we need the wet part of our dredge. So we're going to go in with some milk. 2 eggies. Gotta go with the eggs. What the hell? That was the weirdest looking egg I've ever seen. That has to be the worst pirate I've ever seen. Then, very importantly, we are going to season at every step, which means starting by making sure there is seasoning in both our wet and dry dredges. This is my homemade seasoned salt. It also has pepper in it, but it's my homemade seasoning. Paprika, salt, garlic, mustard, pepper, parsley flakes, other things. Now we're going to go ahead and mix up our dry first. That way we can go into our wet. Make sure we get our yolks cracked. Make sure we dump milk every fucking where. Okay. Now that that dredge is done, we're going to get our chicken. We're going to start dredging. One piece of chicken at a time into the eggs, the egg milk mixture, into the breadcrumbs. Make sure it gets nice and coated. And for this, I'm going to double dredge it just so we get a lot of crispy, crunchy bits on there. Because what's fried chicken without the good crispy, crunchy bits? No, I wasn't being smart. I didn't go wet hand, dry hand. So we just have dirty hand. At least it's only one. And I didn't go with both. That could have been bad. Now we're going to take our strips of bacon, pop these in the oven. Now we're going to take more pasta than we need for sure. We're going to break it in half because that's easier. And we're going to get that into the boiling chicken broth. And we're going to make sure we give those a good stir so they don't stick to the bottom of the pan, at least right away. Now that we know our oil is nice and hot, we're going to start laying in our chicken. Now we're going to start laying in our chicken. Remember to lay it away from your hand as you're putting it in. Or don't. Do whatever you feel like doing. Be you. Be yourself. Because I never do, because I'm dumb. And there we go. We've got our fried chicken starting to fry. Again, make sure your pasta doesn't stick. We're actually going to pull that off the heat for a minute because the pasta's way too far ahead. Now we are going to go ahead and season this side of the chicken before we flip. Just really make sure we got a lot of flavor in there. Should be a ton already, but got to make sure. Now we're going to grab some tongs. Go ahead and start flipping our chicken because it's a nice, beautiful golden brown. That crust is perfect. All right. Now with our chicken basically done, we're going to go ahead, pull it off the heat, put it in the back of the stove. It doesn't need to be cooking anymore, so we're going to let it start cooling itself down. We'll pull it once we're closer to done with everything else. That way, it doesn't get too cold. Now we've got something else to add though. So we're going to get out a different pan, start fresh. Into this pan, we're going to add a bunch of butter. Butter important. Okay, for now our noodles are completely done. So we're about ready to work on our sauce, which we're close to with this as well. So into our butter that is nice and melted. I gotta stop with the nice ands. Everything's nice and I don't understand. We're gonna hit that with some mushrooms. We're gonna hit our mushrooms with a load of garlic salt and black pepper. Most of our butter is already soaked up by those mushrooms. Mushrooms are very dry. So we're going to add another globule of butter because we don't want sticking in the pan. We want zero stickage. But we need these sauteed well. It's a big part of this. Now, before we forget and let it completely burn, we're going to pull our bacon. Then into our butter and mushrooms goes a bunch of baby spinach. We're going to get that cooked down. Don't worry, it's much less than it looks like. Now we're going to get to work on our pasta here. Had to strain out just a bit of that chicken broth. We're going to go in with an entire little container of parm. We're going to hit that with some milk. Can use cream. I forgot I had cream. I thought I only had milk. So I'm going to use heavy whipping cream. And then we're going to go ahead, kick the heat back on for a minute so that we are really going. And try to get this nice and melted down. Get that cheese melted, get that sauce cooking. We're also going to hit it with a sprinkle of an Italian cheese blend. So this is, I believe, just Parm, mozzarella, and something else. And provolone. This will just thicken it up and give it a little bit more of a cheese pull. Everybody likes a good cheese pull. We're going to pull that off the heat mostly because we don't want to burn it. We don't want to burn nothing. And then into our Alfredo sauce, we're going to break every rule of French cooking and put black pepper. You're supposed to use white pepper with a white sauce so you can't see it. I don't mind seeing it. I actually think it looks better when you can see it. All right, now we're going to finish up this pasta by doing some craziness here. So we've got all of that ready. We're going to take our bacon. We're going to grab it with our hands because we are dumb. It's not that hot. It's just dumb to grab bacon by your hands, especially for what we're about to do. I'm going to try to be a little bit smarter about it, but there's only so much you can do. You can finally chop it. I'm lazy, and it's easier to shred it and then deal with the grease on your hands in a minute by washing them. That's it. We're just going to rip up chunks of bacon, however big and or small you want them, and get those in with our veggies. And then into the pan with the veggies and the bacon goes our pasta and the sauce. That way the spinach, the bacon, and the mushrooms are just part of the main pasta dish. And then we're going to let this cook out some of that moisture just a bit for a few minutes. Now it's time to plate. So we're going to get our dinner plate bowl, the same one we used to. Now it's time to plate. So we're going to get our dinner plate bowl thing that we used to make the chicken earlier, to dredge it. And we're going to start there. We're going to go get our pasta. We're going to start putting some of that in here. Trying to get as much of the veggies as possible as well. And bacon. Don't forget you want some bacon. And then, finally on top of that, we're going to hit it with some diced tomato, because fresh tomato is wonderful at all times. And here you have it. Fried chicken, chicken Alfredo. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm starving. Screw it. I'll take a bite on camera this time.